Right, so in this video we're gonna make a follow-up with the hamburger meat, and we're gonna do the meatloaf. For this follow-up, we had a video where we making hamburgers, Mexican style and regular hamburgers. So I had a extra meatloaf or extra meat, and I was telling them that you can make meatballs, the meatloaf. So I have this extra, so I'm gonna do the bacon wrapped meatloaf. So I got about 10 pieces of bacon. Okay, and then we're just gonna put them in the pan for the loaf. And also I have half an onion and about 6 portobellos, regular portobello and baby portobellos, regular mushrooms like this. And also we're gonna do some mustard, ketchup, and we're gonna serve it with some mashed potatoes. I got 4 potatoes baked, boiling, and then I'm gonna show you next step. The follow-up, we had meatballs, regular meatballs, and then the stuffed meatballs with the mozzarella cheese. Okay, so this one is the follow-up of the meatloaf, because we had meatballs, we did hamburgers, and also I told you that we're gonna do the meatloaf. So you can make it in the pan, or you can just wrap it in bacon and put them in the tray. So you're gonna do a layer of bacon, and then we're gonna put the onions and mushrooms on the bottom. Just one bed of onion and mushrooms. And also we're gonna season our meat, or just rub it with the mustard and ketchup. So we're gonna make a little bed over here. And in this meat we have jalapeno, tomato, onion, bacon, carrots, eggs, and breadcrumbs. So I'm gonna put the link on the meatballs and the hamburgers, and then this one, okay? So that way you know what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna marinate our meat with some mustard, okay? And we're gonna season it like this all around. So I'm gonna grab another pair of gloves and come back. So before I switch my gloves, we're gonna add some ketchup all around. Same thing with the mustard, but you're gonna do the ketchup. Okay, so on the bottom we got the onion and mushrooms, and we got mustard all around. So we're just gonna cover it with ketchup all around, so that way it's nice and moist. And then we're gonna wrap it. Also add the rest of the onions, mushrooms, and I'm gonna explain my version in Spanish. Come back and show you the next step. You're gonna wrap your meatloaf with bacon, okay, like that, all around. And then we're gonna put them in the oven. So leftover pieces, just put them on the side, and we're gonna put them in the pan, just like that. And it's we're done, we're gonna come back and show you the next step. All the extra leftovers that we had in the onion and the mushrooms, just put them on the bottom, so that way we have a nice bed of it. And then you're gonna press it down, make a nice rectangle, okay, nice block. From over here, you don't need to put any spray or anything like that, because we got enough bacon fat. Just like that, press it down. And then you're gonna have your oven preheated 500, and we're gonna cook it for about 15 to 20 minutes, or into its cook from the inside. So we're gonna do 20 minutes, 500, and then we're gonna come back and take it out. We're gonna put them in the oven, the middle shelf, 500, 20 minutes. Okay, so this one, it's 3 minutes away, so the meat is already cooked. So I'm gonna check the middle, and we should be, so we're about 180. So the meat is already cooked, but I need to cook the bacon a little more crispy, so I'm gonna keep another 5 more minutes in the oven. So in the meantime, I'm gonna give you the ingredients for the side dishes, for the asparagus and the mashed potatoes. For our garnish, we're gonna use some of asparagus. Got about a dozen of asparagus. Make sure you peel them and save the peelings, okay? And also we're gonna do our roasted garlic with fresh air mashed potatoes. So some butter, garlic, fresh herbs, rosemary, thyme, sage. In butter we're gonna do about 6-7 tablespoons depending on how much butter we need. Parmesan, garlic salt, some black pepper, and milk. And also we got our potatoes cooking, so we're gonna do 2 recipes in one. So let me cue next step. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna melt our butter and cook it to golden brown, and then we're gonna add the garlic. Okay, now that you have your butter golden brown, you're gonna add the garlic, so that way we can roast our garlic. And then we're gonna come back and add the potatoes. We have our butter over here slowly cooking with the garlic. We're gonna poach our asparagus in the meantime. Just a quick poach. And also we're gonna add the fresh herbs so that way they can absorb all this flavor. And then we're gonna add the potatoes and mash them. So now we're gonna add a little salt, pepper to taste. See, we got our asparagus poaching on butter with our fresh herbs. And a little garlic salt. And then we're gonna remove them, okay? We're just poaching them in the butter, and then we're gonna take it out and leave it on the side. We're gonna check our meatloaf. Look at this. Nicely cooked. If you want it more crispy, leave it there a little bit longer, or turn off the oven and let it rest, so that way it finishes crisping. You're gonna add your potatoes over here. Remember, when you cook potatoes, make sure you leave the skin on, so that way you don't lose all the starch, and also it's gonna hold your potato, and then you can peel it off, okay? Because otherwise you're gonna lose all the starch in the water, and you're gonna have your potato soup instead, okay? So just remember that. Better to leave the skin on and then remove it before you mash it. So after you have your potatoes over here, you're gonna add a little milk. I did about a cup, and then we're gonna combine it, mash it all together. See, nicely mashed. And then we're gonna add some of the garlic salt, just slightly, pepper, and our Parmesan cheese. So I'm gonna grab my cheese and show you next step. So after you take it out of the oven, let it rest before you cut it, okay? So that way all the juices contract and you don't lose them when you're cutting it. So just leave it like here, and then we're gonna utilize this stock. So we're gonna make a little sauce with this, okay? Remember, we had a little bacon fat over here, okay? We're gonna make a gravy. So I'm gonna add a little bit of onion and garlic. And remember, we had about 2 mushrooms or 3 left, so we're gonna make a mushroom gravy sauce. So we're gonna render the onion and the garlic golden brown, a little black pepper, and then our mushrooms, okay? So that way they can absorb all the flavor. And then we're gonna add our flour, make a little roux, and make our sauce. So for our gravy, we're gonna add a little 1 tablespoon of flour. So basically, we're gonna make a roux, okay? At the same time. So we're gonna combine our flour, so that way it's gonna serve us like a gravy, okay? I'm gonna add the rest of the juice. So I'm gonna cook my flour for about 1 minute, and then we're gonna come back and add the rest of the juices. So now that you have your flour cooked, we're gonna add the rest of our natural juices, okay? And also I'm gonna add water or chicken stock, okay? So that way we have a nice runny gravy. So we're gonna cook this one down, and then I'm gonna add the water. Okay, before we add the water, remember we had a lot of bacon fat, so now we're gonna take it out. See all this bacon fat? We're gonna take it out. You can leave it if you want, but it's gonna be optional. So I'm gonna remove most of our bacon fat before we add the cold water, so that way we can make a nice gravy and it's not too greasy, okay? So I'm gonna grab a spoon to remove my fat and come back. Now you're gonna put your roux back to the pan, and we're gonna add cold water, so that way we have a nice gravy. So I'm gonna have 1 cup of water, cold water, so that way we can remove all the excess of fat when it's boiling. See, you're gonna see the fat coagulating. So we're gonna remove it with a spoon, and we're gonna let our sauce reduce a little bit. So after you have your roux, you're gonna put it back in the pan, and then we're gonna add the water, cold water, so that way we can remove all the excess of fat, and that way we have our sauce reduce a little bit. As soon as it starts boiling, you're gonna remove the excess of fat. Okay? So look at this. Sometimes it's hard to, coagulate the fat. So I'm gonna show you a trick that they teach me back in the days in the old school. So you're gonna put some ice cubes. Okay, so that way when the ice is gonna touch the fat, it's gonna coagulate really fast, see? And that's gonna be way easier to remove all this excess of fat. Okay? So that way you don't have a fatty gravy. That way you're gonna have a nice and clear gravy. Okay, so bring it to boil, let it reduce. For plating, after you have your meatloaf resting, see, it's nicely done. And now you're gonna cut it. You can use a very sharp knife with a chef knife, or a serene threaded knife. So the width of the knife, that's gonna be 1 portion. It resting. Now you can cut it. Okay, you can use your serene knife or very sharp chef knife. So by the portion, with the width of the knife, that's how you get your portions. Okay, so about 1 inch, and usually you get about 2 to 3 medallions, depending how much you want to serve. Just like that. And for plating, it's gonna be optional. However you want to plate, it's gonna be your decision. You can do the classic mashed potatoes in the middle, and then the veggies, or the other one that is a very classic too, where you have your potato here, then slush it out like that, and then your veggies on the bottom. Okay, just like that, and then you're gonna put your meatloaf. 2, 4, 5. Okay. And then your meatloaf on top. You can do 2 pieces or 3 pieces, depending on how much you want to serve it. You can do this style or this one over here. So now I'm gonna grab my sauce and show you the final results. You can plate it like this, or your classic mashed potatoes on the bottom, asparagus on the next, and then your tips and your gravy on top. Okay, just like that. Or you can do this way, same thing, and then you're gonna add your gravy sauce right on top. So that way you have nice and moist meatloaf. Sauce around. Okay, just like that, a little bit more. And then you just finish it with your tips. Just like that. And hopefully you guys like this video on how to prepare your meatloaf different way. And don't forget to comment and like, share our videos, and enjoy. Okay, just like that, and then a little quality control. Mashed meatloaf bacon. Very good. Thank you. Enjoy.